margin of 1,446 votes difference. The MPP candidate, Honorable Patrick Boama, obtained 20,229 votes as against NDC's Baba Sadiq, who polled 18,783 votes, with only 3 polling stations remaining. The records show that even when all the votes in the 3 polling stations are added to the NDC's candidate, it will not offset the vote difference. This is important. Even when all the 3 outstanding polling stations are added on to the NDC candidate, it would not offset the vote difference. At this moment, the collation process was disrupted by the NDC thugs, who stormed the collation center and sought to destroy critical electoral materials, including pink sheets essential for verifying the results. They took control of the collation process and threatened the EC's officials to declare their candidate as winner, resulting in chaotic scenes which led to suspension of the constituency collation. The parties were invited to the EC Regional Collation Center on Monday, 9 December 2024, to complete the collation process. The NDC insisted that they would not accept the continuation of the collation and demanded that the EC should declare their candidate as winner of the parliamentary election. Under visible duress, the returning officer excluded the results from 31 polling stations and declared the results based on only 110 polling stations. This action is inconsistent with the electoral laws, as it excludes legitimate votes cast by constituents and fails to reflect the true outcome of the elections in Okaigwe Central. The NDC's disagreement was based on alleged issue with certain polling stations. The attacks stormed the electoral EC Collation Center and coerced the returning officer to declare. And here too, we have video footages to corroborate these incidents of vandalism and physical abuse of the electoral staff. I don't think you can show the footage.
This one is applicable. We will share with them. We share the video. Let's go to Dominic Kwabenya.
All right, so let's go to the 4th one, Dominic Kwabenya constituency. We will share these videos with you. During the collation at Dominic Kwabenya constituency collation center, the NDC hoodlums attacked the collation center, destroyed electoral materials on site, bent ballot boxes, thereby truncating the collation process. The returning officer informed parties to leave the collation center on account of the security challenges, which made it impossible to continue with the collation. The returning officer assured the candidates and their agents that she would communicate a new venue for the continuation of the collation. We are, however, hearing that there was a purported declaration of results under duress, and that too in our absence, contrary to requirements of Regulation 43 of CI 127. Equally, the parliamentary results collation sheet Form 1C and parliamentary results summary sheet Form 1D was not filled as required by Regulation 43 1B 1 and B of CI 127, and the rate of declaration Form 1B was also not issued as required by Regulation 43 1 and G. The MPP candidate votes as per data collated from all the 140 polling stations by the party. The MPP's candidate, Nana Agyemang Prempeh, has hard copies of all the 140 pink sheets that put him at 20,353 votes as against NDC's candidate at 20,232. I believe we all have witnessed what we call MP3 in Tema East some time back. So if somebody wins with a difference of 121, he has won. After all, the law says first past the post. During the collation by the EC at the Constituency Collation Center, NDC tax stormed the collation center at Tepa SHS and began destroying and burning electoral materials, particularly pink sheets, computers, and ballot papers, as well as properties of the Tepa SHS, including louver blades, benches, and tables. They also manhandled MPP representatives and EC officials. These violent conducts by the NDC tax, who had overpowered the police, prompted the intervention of the military to save lives and property. The NDC hoodlums did not only attack the collation center, but they also proceeded to launch an attack at the residence of the MPP parliamentary candidate, Honorable Eric Nana Agyeman Prempeh, bent his vehicle and attacked his warehouse, stole his items, and attacked his radio station. There are video footages in wide circulations that captured all these attacks. These issues have since been reported to the Ghana police, and an arrest warrant has been issued. The videos are there, and we will give you copies of it. The question many will ask is, since when has it become an offense to contest a parliamentary elections in this country? Why is the NDC bent on thwarting all our democratic gains? Ghana has made a lot of gains. Instead of consolidating it, they are thwarting it. They are throwing it away. Let's go to the sixth one, Obuasi East. That's also in Ashanti. After collecting the polling stations results from all the 115 polling stations, the MPP parliamentary candidate obtained 18,558 votes as against NDC's 18,539. Strangely, the returning officer, the police, and the MPP candidate, at the threat of their lives, succumbed to the unlawful demands of the NDC hoodlums, who had besieged the collation center and took charge of the constituency collation process to swap the election results. And we have that. Is that ready to show them? They swapped the results that I have mentioned and then announced that. Okay, they gave them APP's candidates to that of the NDC, the Obuasi East.
They just canceled.
They canceled the first one, which we have the data and reverse and I mean, what is this? They swapped the results in favor of the NDC
And
candidate.
they locked the candidate and asked him to sign or he dies. Or he prefers dying or going to parliament. So he should sign.
Obtained 16,058 votes as against NDC's candidate, who polled 15,372 votes. As usual, the NDC hoodlums attacked the collation center and in the process killed one of our supporters. We have all our pink sheets intact, and that shows clearly that the MPP parliamentary candidate won the parliamentary elections by 686 votes margin. 686 votes margin. The EC invited the parties to its regional collation center on Monday, 9 December 2024 at 10 a.m. The EC collected all the results from all the 103 polling stations, filled the Form 1C as well as the Form 1D, but due to threat on his life, he opted not to declare the final results. So this is the situation at Ahafano Southwest. Now we go to Bono East, number 8, Techima South constituency. Collation from 279 out of a total of 282 polling stations indicate clear that Honorable Martin Kwaku Agyeman Kosa, the MPP parliamentary candidate, obtained 46,468 votes as against NDC's Christopher Bayari, who polled for the 3,365 votes. Two other candidates in the parliamentary elections obtained 225 votes. The constituency collation was disrupted by NDC elements and has since not resumed. All right. The next one is Eastern Region and Sawam Adwajiri. Data from all the 202 polling stations show that the incumbent MP, Honorable Anodompre, has won the parliamentary elections. The EC's collation at the Constituency Collation Center was disrupted by the NDC. The EC's arrangement to continue with the collation at the regional level in Koforidua was also disrupted by the hoodlums, compelling the EC to relocate the collation to the police training school at Tesano based on security considerations. Leader will want to add something because he was present.
Friends from the media, I want to explain something that happened at Tesano. Honorable Obiamwa and my good self were there as representatives from the party's headquarters. On that day, that was a Thursday, last week Thursday, we had 4 constituencies: Fantiakwa North, Akotia, Suhum, and Nsawam Adwajiri. The first collation to be completed for the day was Fantiakwa North. When we got that done, we came to Akotia, which we also successfully completed, and it was declared. Then it was left with Nsawam Adwajiri and Suhum. Both were being done. Now, for Suhum, there was another go slow. The NDC at every stage tried to disrupt. Eventually, they rejected 6 polling station results, and we accepted that if they've rejected, they don't want it to be part, that is fine, because it was still giving us a win of over 1,500. Then they tried to use the independent candidate agent to frustrate the process. In fact, eventually, the NDC leaders who came there, led by the famous Alfred Woyome, told me and Honorable Obiamwa that they want to negotiate for us to allow the declaration of Suhum, and that their foot soldiers were amassing outside, and that if all 4 constituencies are declared for us, they will kill them. Very sad. Eventually, when we said no, we have to continue with the process, and we completed the Suhum process where Suhum was declared, they tried another go slow on Nsawam Adwajiri. Each one of them that came said, "Oh, you say another winning na yen farmer." Where does this happen? Eventually, when the EC official decided to continue the process, the NDC, led by Alfred Woyome, came into the collation center and said that, okay, their computer was not working, so we should give them 2 hours to charge their battery. As at 1 a.m., when they had gotten 3 hours to charge the so-called battery of the laptop, they said they were tired. Meanwhile, their candidate walked in. The candidate for Nsawam Adwajiri walked in. And we said, okay, if you are tired, the candidate himself was there. Meanwhile, Honorable Anodompre had been there the whole day. What next? The EC official, after another 1 hour of unnecessary disruption, he said he was tired, he was feeling sleepy, and that we should do it at 6 a.m. the following day, Friday. We all slept there. Well, by the way, I left around 4 a.m. to shower, and I came back around 7 o'clock. Around this time, the General Secretary was also there, but the candidate, Honorable Anodompre, and his agent slept there. At 6:30 thereabout, collation resumed. Around who allowed the process to continue. And then, in fact, on Friday itself, after they had successfully gotten the Anodompre's constituency collation disrupted, then they came to the others. The police had arranged collation tables for the other constituencies. In fact, Techiman South has started. They were collating. Ahafo Southwest, we had their table. We had Obuasi East, and all the Ashanti region seats were supposed to be collated, And then the following day, Saturday, was for Greater Accra. They deliberately disrupted and then used social media to threaten the police, whereupon the police felt that they could not provide security, in spite of EC's insistence to continue the work. In fact, on Friday afternoon, it was the police that actually instructed the EC to stop the collation process. I repeat, on Friday afternoon, it was the police that instructed EC to stop the process of collating the results because it was not sure of its ability to provide security. And you recall that was when the deputy communication officer, I don't want to mispronounce his name, had issued threats, had commanded 5,000 people to meet at the police training school. It's all on social media. So our appeal to the international community, civil society organizations, the media, and all lovers of democracy is to show interest in these outstanding constituencies and give the EC every moral support to proceed to make these declarations. Again, we are encouraging the Electoral Commission that pursuant to their own statement they issued and their press conference on the evening of Friday to proceed to collect and declare these results. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I continue from here. Our win constituency in Western North region. Records from 181 polling stations indicate that the vote difference between our candidates, Abanga Yakubu, and the NDC candidate is 103 votes in favor of the NDC candidate. However, we have learned of some major infractions at some polling stations which the party is still investigating. Other outstanding constituencies. Collation processes in Suhum, Fantiakwa North, and Akwatia constituencies were botched because of some security challenges occasioned by the NDC supporters and hoodlums besieging the respective constituency collation centers. The EC's arrangement to continue with the collation at the regional level was also disrupted by the hoodlums, compelling the EC to relocate the collation to the police training school at Tesano based on security considerations, just as Leader has just mentioned. Subsequently, these collations have since been completed under a serene environment and the results declared. True to our case, all the results were declared in favor of the MPP parliamentary candidates. The point must be made that this is not the first time in the history of this country's election that we have been confronted with an issue where there has been a continuation of a disrupted constituency collation or recollation. I think this point is very important, ladies and gentlemen. It will be recalled that in the year 2000, constituency was initially declared for the MPP candidate, King David Amoah. However, upon recollation of the results based on the pink sheet provided by the NDC candidate and his agents, the EC under the then chairman, Dr. Kojo Afarijan, reversed the results and declared the NDC candidate as the winner. So it has happened before in the electoral history of this country. The point must also be made that the position of the law is that once a proper and regular declaration has been done by the EC, the only remedy available to an aggrieved party, apart from resorting to alternative disputes resolution, ADR, pursuant to Court Act and ADR Act, is to go to the High Court for redress under Article 99(1) of the 1992 Constitution. However, with the seats that the MPP is contesting, no declaration, properly so called, was done. So the declaration has not been done. Why do you, who can ask us to go to court? No, it's for the EC to recollate as it did in the year 2004 under Dr. Afarijan at Puru constituency in the now Bono East region.
But EC says that there hasn't been any.
But the EC itself has issued a statement, a press conference, that there's no declaration. How does the NDC expect the EC to gazette election results that have not been fully collated and declared? It is pretty obvious that the NDC leadership and their supporters who stormed the collation centers to compel the EC under the threat of death to declare their candidates as winners have labored in vain, because we are a country of rule of law, not rule of men. EC's response: it is not surprising that at a press conference held on Friday, 13 December, the Electoral Commission, through its deputy chair, Mr. Samuel Tete, stated emphatically that there was no declaration of the Ablekuma North, Domeko Abenya, Tema Central, Okaikwe North, Ahafuano North, Ahafuano Southwest, Obuasi East, Techiman South, and Nswam Adwajiri constituency parliamentary results, because the collation was incomplete. Indeed, the Commission has maintained that all purported declaration of parliamentary results made under duress, as was seen in those, hence illegal and will not be upheld. It will not be upheld by the EC. Conclusion: it is therefore our expectation that the EC would immediately resume the collation exercise. We implore the National Election Security Task Force to provide adequate security to facilitate peaceful collation under a serene environment. We are also calling on the NDC leadership to rein in on their supporters. We are very certain that our parliamentary candidates in the above mentioned constituencies won the elections based on verifiable data from the pink sheets, as we have demonstrated. We urge the EC and all stakeholders to, in the interest of democracy and peace of our dear country, take immediate steps to give effect to the will of the voters in these constituencies as expressed in the December polls. I thank you all. Where is the MC?
All right, so you may proceed. Questions.
Yeah, Chairman Magmenu, a Kanye Ninano. Yeah, I award the new Patriotic Party. And then at the 20 and then more and Central for no Asia. The 10 and in the Titi and they said, your concert Ablekuma North. Osha Vosa, MPP now, our Ablekuma North. So, Osha, your results are near quality based on Pinsita, Electoral Commission, the Maya. Oh, who said your candidate a year forcing in 18,870 and now NDC candidate no in now 18,115. Ufri Ablekuma North now by Okaikwe Central and also Yera Pachubuama our Yemra Shebejanu to no 20,229. NDC candidate Nina 18,783. To show vote difference now, 1,446 vote difference. Now, cut 3 polling stations and near say NDC for no ampering. Just all kinds of 3 polling station votes in the Krabuma. Still, your candidate and Edin Kunim over. Oba Baby to say Domain Kwabinya also so NDC for no 2 trasem and the Basabasa call 53 as against NDC candidate we now 20,232. To Shema vote difference no 121 vote difference. Oba be able to say Obuasi East MPP near Jim Kunimoho. Vote MPP candidate now 18,558 as against NDC candidate we now 18,539. And no electoral commission will be no quality results na wie. Now so NDC for macho man for war to trust them ho. E share electoral commission your candidate say results are MPP enya no. Your MPP dey NDC. Your NDC dey MPP. How much dey can you to issue so say obewu na so be parliament then na ope. And o mutintim your candidate nsa. O ye no free Afaano Southwest. And so your candidate ho Ushe votes are now 16,058. and NDC candidate now 16,000. You candidate now 16,058, and NDC candidate now 15,372. And Osha vote margin the BTN this now there is 686 votes. And also so NDC for 2 transfers are Oma Electoral Commission and collective results na we. Over Techiman South so Honorable Martin Kokweje Mensa Kosa no din kunim or sa constituency wo. Our votes are near quality unya 46,468 as against NDC candidate unya 43,365 votes. And also said the NDC 4 year to try some or Kaikwe Central, Afano Southwest, and Afano South, Afano North, no. San of the call her, Techiman South, Intimin can we. In Sawan Adrede, so the same issue and the course of Ewo. And the crowd there said they were for your market, my church leader Kayano. You could share what Tessano, Naka Electoral Commission, at Twasso, Meeting can we. NDC the patapasem to trust sa master exercise no am young kwanko wi now about our win constituency also so electoral commission start to kenka results no ya sha what mean say figures bi wo ha wo polling station bi wo ha o ma than figures no enti no so ya call electoral commission say o honor results no so esa moment call as a party so egusu a ya hwehwem now offer constituency bi to say suhum Fantia North any Akwatia enam se na bambo enisa constituency wono amsa de call region bambo hono ye de call Tesano police training school hono asundwe wo ho ntietimi quality ni nyina ye wie no ampa se de MPP ye kan ye di nkunim e osuhum Akwatia na Fantia North ye say baby aba bedru no ye say electoral commission say aka standing constituency sa yen kan wie ya es wo hwe eme ye kan ye say ye IGP Ira dampare o sheyebo sa abato ebetu na ma asundua abam na normal cost no nesa na yehu no say NDC timi de 2 million monsem na police gina ho police ntimi nya hwe na omo ye tutu asem ho tie se ne se bambo BS or the electoral commission say be ya electoral commission ebetima ye omo adwuma wie no sa bambo ne fama electoral commission no nya sa adwuma obeti yenyam du baby ese court if the electoral commission on quality results in we and gazette yenyam du baby ese court if the electoral commission on quality